What up, people? It's Nerd Variety Podcast, and we're back. It's me, Matt, with my co-hostess with the mostest, Josh. Say what up to
Hey,
the
it's
people.
Josh.
And Hayden.
Yay, it's Hayden. Hi. Hey,
Hayden's
guys.
here. So we came back today to decide to talk about anime. More specifically, the longevity of certain anime and how many and how long, how well it does, and the staying power of it. I know I can think of a couple that have a lot of staying power because there's so many that have new reboots and new relaunches and stuff. So we that's our topic for today. I think I'll go ahead and start and say, the staying power of Dragon Ball as an entire franchise.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
think of how long it's been around and how it continues to grow after its initial run, and then it just keeps expanding with the video games and all that stuff too.
When did Dragon Ball come out, like originally?
But you mean the original thing? So the original manga?
Well, I guess it'd be good to like look at the manga release and then the anime.
So the manga released in '84, I believe.
Okay.
Let me double check that. I'm pretty sure it's '84, and then I think the anime released in like not soon. I mean, soon after.
Yeah, it
I'm
was
trying to check now.
yeah, it was 1984 in the weekly Shonen.
Shonen. Yep, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
And then the anime premiered in 85, 86, something like that.
Oh, okay. I was thinking it was like 88 or 89, but that
86
may have
to
been
89 it says for Dragon Ball anime.
okay.
80, 88 to 89.
86 to 89.
Okay.
Oh, that's how
So
long it
yeah,
ran
not
for?
Yeah, the original Dragon Ball, and then it was 89 to 96 for Dragon Ball Z.
right.
Oh, wow. I didn't know it. I didn't know it. I thought Dragon Ball Z was like more like mid 90s, like like kind of early, like I guess maybe 92, 93,
Well, that's
90,
also
90 or 95, but
that's also there was a difference in when it ran in Japan versus when it ran in America.
right, that
Yep,
makes sense.
that's the differentiator there. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would agree with that because we all grew up with Z in the mid '90s and early 2000s, so that's where that confusion comes in. But I mean, not just Dragon Ball though. Look at Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon's getting a reboot soon. Bleach just started the anime for its final arc that never got finished. One Piece is still running.
Still.
One Piece has
I mean
way
the
too many
the
episodes.
yeah the manga's over, but I mean the anime is still running. So
That's wild.
you can just see you can just see the influence and the staying power that anime has on people, and now it's like a pop culture thing that it continues to grow. It's grown into the zeitgeist of pop culture to the point where professional athletes are talking about. I watch anime all day,
Mhm.
and there's professional athletes wearing anime inspired clothing everywhere they go and stuff like that. So it's just wild to me that like it's crazy because for one, Sailor Moon to me that was one of the ones that I grew up on, and I haven't finished it all the way through, but I plan to. But now it's got one or two different iterations. Inuyasha has a freaking sequel finally, and it's about his kid and his brother's kids, and it's crazy, and it's coming out with more. So
Yeah.
things like that, like you don't think properties like that are gonna last that long, but they really have.
Yeah. I think it's there's something appealing about specifically appealing about what there's general appeal for all those animes, those older animes, OGs, and then but there's something specific about each one that each fan base has attached themselves to, and it's really cool how it's great how back in like I'm sure when in the heyday when those were like out and airing like in their original time, like it was kind of seen as weird or alt when those were out and people weren't really talking about them maybe or they thought as like kids stuff, but now it's like like you said, Matt, mainstream pop culture where athletes and famous people will talk about and show off their merch or talk about how they love the show then, they love the show now. And that's why they're getting more and more sequels and reboots and all that, which is good, sometimes not so good, but each one each one has a specific case of like, oh, this is worthy of continuation, or this it's on, but why is it still going on?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the kids who grew up watching it as kids are now grown up and are more of a target audience for people, and we're now more in society. So that's why I think it's more popular now. It's not like we got the older generation into it. It's more that we've just grown up and we've maybe gotten the younger generation into it.
Oh, we've absolutely got the younger generation into it.
Yeah.
I remember my nephew, I hadn't seen him most of 2020, and then I saw him. My cousin got married last summer of last year, and I got a chance. I saw him, and he started talking about Dragon Ball. I'm like, wait, hold up. Like, what do you know about Dragon Ball? Like, nephew, what do you know about Dragon Ball? Like, tell me what you know about Dragon Ball. And he started talking about the characters and the moves and all that. And I'm just like, wow, that's wild. He's like, how old is he? Like 8. He was 7 last year. So it's like, I guess now there's a lot more. There's a lot more ways for people to, get exposure to it, and they can just kind of like binge it. Versus while we were younger, we had to kind of consume it bit by bit.
Yeah, back in my day.
Back in my day,
we had.
It's so weird that we get to use that now.
We had to wait a week just for a filler episode. And we went for what we got.
Yep. And you had to watch it on TV. You couldn't watch it on these YouTubes and TikToks and streaming platforms.
You had to wait.
The internet wasn't even that good back then.
You'd be waiting 5 years to watch one episode, dadgummit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gosh, I remember GT being on the air, and that was on it was on Toonami when I watched it, and that was the late night stuff that I usually wasn't able to stay awake for. So it was I really liked GT because I thought it was something special that I had to be able to stay up for.
That was me with my first introduction to anime, which was Yu Yu Hakusho, because I always when I went to my cousin's house, I always stayed up late and watched TV with him, and Yu Yu Hakusho was on late night, and these animated characters were cussing and there was blood and they were fighting each other, and I'm like, holy crap, this is cool. And I probably shouldn't be watching this, but it's so cool.
Yeah. I remember watching a little bit of Gun. Oh, sorry, Matt. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I remember watching a little bit of like being like in like Toonami, like, oh, Toonami's coming on, like watching my like watching the shows that came on there because they had a really good block, and then like getting a taste of like I wasn't really big on anime, but except for like the more kid friendly shows, but then I got a taste of Gundam because when it was on Toonami. And I'm like, oh, wow, this is a different anime than I'm used to here. Holy crap.
Gundam was awesome from what I remember.
I'm actually currently watching the original 1979 or 76, whichever one it was. When the original show came out, I'm actually currently watching it with a buddy of mine because Gundam was something that I was into, but there was a specific one that I was watching that isn't part of the main canon timeline that I was watching that I love. So I was like, I need to get into more of this. So I'm watching that now to see where that goes. But yeah, Josh, like you were saying, your nephew's asking you about Dragon Ball. My nephew, every time I see him, and I literally see him just about every day, but he literally will ask me at least 2 or 3 Dragon Ball questions in the whole time that I'm with him. And I'm like, kid, I love you for this. Like, thank you. Like, at
I will.
least you're
I will.
thinking about me.
I will teach you everything you need to know. I will make sure you are well informed.
Like, there was one day he was like, he was asking me questions because he's only seen bits and pieces. Like right now, him and his daddy are watching they're starting Super in the middle because they already watched the movies. So
Okay,
he's like
they're
literally
watching it correctly.
yeah. So he's asking me questions about stuff he didn't know about. And I had to sit him down one day and literally go, all right, what do you want to know? And ask me questions and I'll answer. Because he was trying to bounce around to stuff and I was like, wait, ask me one question
Yeah,
and go from there.
yeah. There's a lot of history here, but I can
Yeah.
break it down for you if we just kind of do it pace because there's a lot of it.
Yeah. There's one thing that I want that I hope gets a continuation soon. And I don't know if it's ever going to happen because the creator of it is currently working on his other property that's done really well, and that's Hunter x Hunter. Is I want a Yu Yu Hakusho continuation, but I don't know if we'll ever get it.
What? You sure you don't want a live action Netflix movie, Matt?
That's a whole nother topic for a different day.
It is. It is. But I'm just curious. You're not. That doesn't count. Does that not count, Matt?
No, it doesn't count because they're probably gonna retell it. And I swear, if it doesn't have the theme song in the beginning, it automatically doesn't count.
Okay, I got you.
Of course, it's not going to have it.
It's gotta have it. That theme song is iconic and it's a banger.
Maybe they'll do a remix of it.
Which one?
The Smile Bomb. It's actually my ringtone right now.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So yeah.
But
what do you think? I know for the big three, like when I think longest running animes, I think of course Dragon Ball, Naruto, and One Piece.
Those are exactly what I was thinking.
Right. Yeah. So I think of those.
But y'all know that's not the big three, right? No. The big three is Bleach, Naruto, and One Piece. Dragon Ball's not in there.
Why is Dragon Ball not in there?
Dragon Ball's better.
Because the big three is it's based on the manga. It's not based on the animes.
But Dragon Ball's because like manga is continuing though. So
yes, but Dragon Ball. The big three started with Bleach, Naruto, and One Piece.
Let's just call it. I guess now then and include Dragon Ball.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Now it would be the big four because Super is still going and Super has continued the story.
Yeah. Would it be is there a candidate for a fifth? Like that's my thing. I like the idea of a big five, but a top five or
The people are thinking that I've seen a bunch of names thrown around for that. My Hero, Attack on Titan.
My Hero hasn't been going on as long.
I'm thinking, we're thinking of ones that started more in the 90s, maybe really early 2000s.
So what about now? There are some that I'm not entirely sure of because I've never seen. So just bear with a noob here. I don't know if people still use that term.
A baby weeb.
Yes.
Weeb. Okay.
Oh, it's a weeb baby.
What about geez, what's it called? Full Metal Alchemist.
Hmm.
I would put that in a top five in a big
I
five.
can't.
Would.
I wouldn't put it in the top 5. I mean, I put it in the top 10 for sure, but I don't know about top 5. I feel like there's another one that's been out longer, that's had a lot of episodes. Um,
Let's see. I'm
I was
looking now.
also I was also starting to think, but I don't think this one has been around that long. I'm not entirely sure, but uh what's the one where they're like doing a video game? Sword Art
oh,
Online.
Sword Art
Sword Art
Online.
Yeah, Sword Art Online.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That would be a big contender because I feel like they just like not so much they haven't been around for a long time, like maybe late 2000s, early 2010s, but they've flooded the market with with you know episodes and like spin-offs and whatnot.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's easier now these days to find the more popular ones that are not, or like kind of the new generation of anime, if you will.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
which
I would agree with that.
to me seems like what is it, Hunter x Hunter, Demon
Hunter,
Slayer.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yep.
Demon Slayer's a newer one, but it's
Attack
exploded.
on Titan.
Attack on
Attack
Titan
on
was
Titan. My Hero would go into the newer generation, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen the topic of the new big three going around, and it seems like it's My Hero, Attack on Titan, and like Demon Slayer.
yeah.
And
Now,
I think some people have thrown Jujutsu Kaisen in there too, but I haven't started that one yet,
Yeah,
which I want to.
I was gonna say I've also heard, I know a lot of, I have a number of friends who are interested in Ruby.
yeah. It's
I don't
hard to
know how I
say
feel.
if that is. Can we consider that anime?
I I
Really
think it
hard to
is
say.
considered anime.
I
I
mean,
just
yeah, it's
saw
definitely
something for
been
a
it's
wild
definitely
crossover.
stylized anime, yeah, for sure. I can't. It's hard for me to call it anime when it's more of a web series than anything. But it's even though it is anime, but I don't think it's made. It's made by Rooster Teeth, right?
Yes.
I
Yeah.
guess.
So it's in a weird gray area.
Okay, another
just
one.
saw something where they're getting a
Another one
weird
I've heard a
crossover.
lot about, but it looks too weird for me almost. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Are you sure, Hayden? I think you might
JoJo's is
like
a
it.
I don't know.
JoJo's is a
It
whole
looks.
bag in its of its own self.
It really is. It really is. It is. It's definitely. I feel like it's definitely one of the new top 5, but because of
Definitely.
just it has a fan base for sure, and it's definitely like it, they kind of going down the generation through generation by generation of
JoJo's of
JoJo's.
literal
Yeah,
JoJo's.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Sorry. I was also I'm just thinking of things and all these things come to my head and I'm like, we're getting out of the 5 range here.
yeah.
Because I also started
Yeah.
thinking, what about One Punch Man?
Only had 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Right.
But
So that's why
manga's
I'm
And
not
I'm not
talking.
sure how long the manga's been on.
I'm not talking
Yeah.
like longest running, but in like the newer.
Yeah, I think so. It
Yeah.
definitely has the popularity, even though it doesn't have like how so much like stuff out there. Like the manga, yeah, there's a lot up in the manga, I'm sure, but the anime hasn't been out. It has only had 2 seasons over the last how many years? Like almost 8 years now, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I
Uh,
know back in 2015, 2016, the first season came out because I was still living in Statesboro when I finished the first season then.
Yeah,
So yeah.
I think
And I
I
haven't
know I was
I
still
haven't
I know I was still in Atlanta. I was going to say I was still in Atlanta when I was in college when One Punch came out.
right.
When
But
did Berserk
you want to talk
come out?
about that one's more recent too, I think.
Berserk.
My phone is
Yeah.
dying, so it's not so it's not letting me search things as fast because it's dying. But
I know Berserk. I think Berserk had I think its main series in I think that was like the 90s, right?
I'm not even sure because I had no clue about it until this newer version came out.
And I think that was just the was like some Netflix movies, but or just some like a trilogy of movies. Um, but anyway, with the like, and it's funny that we're talking about all these like what's part of the new top five and I was watching a video talking about how the explosion of anime and how like anime was like if they're looking at a chart like a graph like anime is like kind of started building like shuffling along building up in the 90s and 2000s and then after 2010 just an explosion like high yield
Boom.
animes
Yep.
just like so many have been produced in the last 10 12 years. It's ridiculous. Like
Yeah.
and I'm sure we'll have even more this decade.
You know, I like where this is going because originally we were talking about staying power and stuff, but like I like the fact that we've turned it into a topic about just anime in general and the growth. But you want to talk about staying power for real? To be able to come back after the atrocity that was Dragon Ball Evolution and to still make the property worth it, like
I mean, I
that
think you
that's
have
some
to have a
staying power.
I think you have to have a terrible live action movie before you can really be successful, right?
Mm.
That seems about right at this point.
Yeah, that because that
It
happened with
really does.
because it's not anime, it's anime inspired, but Avatar
Yeah,
kind of came back with like
bro.
like Korra.
Now people want the
Yeah,
live
yeah,
action Avatar, the new one.
yeah, yeah.
No, I'm more so looking
But
at like okay, you had the original animated series, and you had the live action movie, and then you
like
had Korra
for
come out, which
21,
I guess we all made us all kind of like, oh, let's watch this instead of I guess
that
they kind of
atrocity,
like put some respect back on the name after that
right?
atrocity.
But
I never even
to
finished that
have
movie.
Good.
good, you shouldn't. It's not worth it. But to have the original creator Toriyama come out and be like, "Look, this," and make Battle of Gods as an apology for Dragon Ball Evolution says a lot.
Yeah.
Because Toriyama was basically done with like he was done like helming the property of Dragon Ball. He let Toei and Shueisha and all them deal with it. But then when that came out, he was like, hold on no. He was like, no, we gotta
Hold up.
fix this.
So he actually had a little short film, the Son Goku and His Friends Return in 2008.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was I'm wondering if that kind of like spearheaded like hit the movement to get more Dragon Ball.
That helped. That definitely
Yeah.
helped.
I think a lot it was a lot of like,
It definitely helped.
a lot of small like pushes to get it like say, hey, more Dragon Ball. It's like you had
Yep.
of course you had I think the atrocity of Dragon Ball Evolution kind of like helped like we got to put some respect back on the name, and then the shorts, and then just people were just kind of wanting more and more, and they was like, well, we can make more. It's like, all right, do it.
Yeah.
Yo Son Goku and His Friends Return is actually really good,
It
especially if you
is.
like slice of life. If you like slice of life, but you love Dragon Ball, it's a nice little touch. I like it.
Yeah.
But and like that's the thing though. Like we were talking, like the topic is staying power of anime. For Sailor Moon to get another new arc coming out soon
Yeah.
is wild to me. For as
Yeah.
long as it ran, you know what I mean?
Do you think Naruto, while it's had so many episodes, I'm never gonna finish. But then it has a sequel series. Do you think those are well deserved?
I haven't even finished the original.
I don't plan to. Matt.
So what I did for what I did for Naruto was I actually played the games to catch up on the story. But now I'm going back and actually watching Naruto again. But Boruto I started, and to be honest, I I, I don't think we needed it because essentially, to me, where it lost me was it's basically Naruto except he's there. Like, because Boruto's like, man, my dad sucks. He's Hokage. He's never here. Blah blah blah. It's like, dude, he's the leader of the whole village. He's got a bunch of stuff to do. Yes, he's your dad, but still, he's got a bunch. So he acts out because his dad's not there, but his dad is there because he sends clones to like hang with them and all. But then he sees them fight. He sees Sasuke and Naruto fighting. He's like, oh, my dad's the coolest. It's like, dude, it's literally the same thing. It's the same premise. No one likes me because my dad's not here. My dad sucks. And then it's like, oh, my dad's awesome.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's where it lost me. So I don't think we really needed it.
Yeah, I can see because again with Dragon Ball, I think most of Dragon Ball is worth keeping around or was I guess has the staying power or was worth putting out there. One Piece, while One Piece had its appeal, and that I think its original series is enough to keep for just that to be enough to like, hey, let's go back to this, or let's just we're good with just rewatching this, but there doesn't.
And that's the crazy thing too. That's the crazy thing. We don't need the original series. Yeah.
All right.
Like One Piece is still an original series and it's still going. That's the crazy thing about it to me. Like it hasn't had any spin-offs per se. Like it's had movies and stuff, but it hasn't had spin-off series. It's just all One Piece. And that's real staying power there too.
Yeah. Well, I think it's looking good for the future of anime based on the past and how there seems to be a big resurgence in the last decade or so. So I'm excited to see.
Oh yeah, it's in the zeitgeist now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what we get, especially with the new stuff coming out with every major series has got something going on somewhere, so it's not going anywhere.
Yep. Future looks good. But yeah.
Yep.
That's the longest running animes.
Yep. Longest running animes, and we'll see what happens next with it. All right, guys, until then, nerd out.
Nerd out.